Over the last 2 years, I've purchased and reviewed dozens of different speculative crypto miners on this channel. In this video, I'm going to share exactly how I made $1,780 with all those miners in August of 2024. This is a monthly series where I track all my income from crypto mining and running crypto nodes, minus my current expenses such as electric and hosting costs, so I can share with you my net income for the month. Stay tuned because I have a refreshed ROI or return on investment analysis for every miner, which I'll share with you later in this video. For those of you who are new to the channel, first off, welcome. My name is Jason and this is Swan Crypto. Most of the miners we'll be reviewing today are depin miners, which stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network. It involves using blockchain technology and token incentives to build and maintain physical infrastructure and to help solve real-world problems. Most of these devices are low cost and low power, making it easy for home miners like you and I to get involved. Now, first off, I can't sugarcoat it. It was an awful month for crypto mining. Almost every token we mined here tanked in price. This is the worst month we've had from a revenue and a net income standpoint since I started sharing this month-end earnings review with you 28 months ago. Is crypto mining dead? Should we all unplug our miners now and find a new hobby like knitting or bird watching? Well, that's a big no for me. Check out these search trends for Bitcoin and crypto mining. Nobody is paying attention to crypto right now. And in that there lies an opportunity for those of us that stick with this. I still think depin will be one of the hottest sectors in this upcoming bull market, so it's not an area that you should ignore. Now, I put together this analysis for you to keep track of the profitability of every single miner I reviewed for you on this channel. It takes me a long time to put this together, so if you learn anything from this video, I really would appreciate it if you'd hit that like button for me. Now, I've got these projects sorted from most to least profitable. We'll give some high-level commentary over each. So our number one project for the month are my FLUX nodes. I have 2 Nimbus and 1 Stratus node, netting me $110 a month. I do incur $120 expenses for these FLUX nodes each month, and that's because I have these hosted with a website called Goldie Tech Nodes. I've had these hosted for about 2 years now. Now the FLUX token has fluctuated quite a bit over the past month, anywhere between 70 and 50 cents. We've had some quite negative price action over the last couple days. We ended the month right at that 50-cent range. If we do see some substantially higher prices for FLUX in the coming months, I am considering divesting my FLUX nodes and reallocating this capital to some different projects that I think have some better long-term potential. Number 2 project for the month has been a big winner for us on this channel over these last 2 years. That's my HyFix GeoNet space weather station. They did just have their halving 2 months ago, so the reward's been cut in half, but we still netted us $106 for the month. And you can see the price of the Geo token held up pretty well this month, only down 7%. Go over to my GeoCalc, you can see our rewards history. The max rewards per day is 24 tokens. I have some trees around my house, so my rewards come in slightly lower than that, but we're still pretty close to that max 24 rewards per day. If we scroll up here earlier, you could see when I started the project, I had a dual band device, and I was earning 45 tokens per day, and then I upgraded to the triple band in March of 23, where we were earning a max of, I believe, 98 or 96 tokens per day. And then they had the halving last year that brought us down to a max of 48 per day, and now we've got a max of 24 tokens per day. A couple big news items for HyFix this month. They did make an announcement. They have burned over 200,000 Geo tokens so far. Whenever revenue comes into the project, they have a burn mechanism to burn tokens to offset that revenue that's coming to the project, which should help long-term help to support the Geo token price. Geo is still a very small project, but I think there's some huge potential with this project over the coming years. They did also make an announcement. They now have over $1 million in annual recurring revenue coming into the project as they're selling this RTK data that these space weather stations are collecting. So what these space weather stations are, they're essentially antennas you put on your roof, connected to a receiver, and it helps to make more accurate GPS signals, which has a lot of use cases. And you can see they're leveraging that already, which is really good to see. You don't see that out of many crypto projects. So I think Geode is going to be one of the biggest winners of this upcoming bull market. And I personally have not sold any of my tokens. It's one of the few projects I haven't sold anything because I think there's some huge potential with this project. And it's still very tiny. It's got a real small market cap, and there's only like 8,000 of these devices deployed across the globe at this point. And I've had mine up for, I think, 700 days now. Suburban Crypto tweeted the other day that his was up just under 700 days, and I checked and mine was about the same time. We got into this project very early, and it's been very lucrative for those of us who've had these deployed. All right, number 3 for the month is my WeatherXM weather station. Now, I earned $84 for the month. You can see the WXM token was down 31% for the month. Now, this does include my beta rewards. I've had this up and running for about 2 years now, I believe, and they just went live a couple months ago, so I earn additional rewards every day for being part of that beta program, those 2 years where we weren't earning anything. So I have been actually selling a lot of my WeatherXM tokens. I've recouped my cost for my device over the last 2 months, but I am planning to hold a substantial portion of these tokens as a long-term bet as well, that the WeatherXM team will be able to monetize this project as well. All right, number 4 for the month is my Galaxis engines. I have 3 of these. I did a video on this a couple months ago. This project's really, I think, kind of like a Ponzi scheme. I don't see the long-term potential in this NFT marketplace, but who knows? Crypto surprises everyone sometimes. But I did end up selling about half my tokens this month just to pull some money out of this so that it could help to recoup some of my original costs. I'm nowhere near ROI at this point, but I thought it would make good sense to at least take some profits here. Number 5 project for the month is my phone farm. I have 50 phones running on this phone farm. I've been running this for just over a year now. You can see the Varus token is up 26% for the month. So very good performance out of Varus this month, netting me just under $80 for the month. I was thinking about doing an update video for you guys on my phone farm, going over my overall profitability over the last year and all my expenses. So let me know if you're interested in another phone farm video. It's been a long time since I've done a phone farm video. I know my original one was quite popular just because it's a very low cost way to get into home crypto mining. Number 6, we have my Stepin NFT shoes. This is a move to earn project, so you get rewarded for walking, netting me $57 for the month. I checked my Stepin app and I've walked a total of 1,650 miles in about 2 years I've been doing this project. Now, I think Stepin is not really sustainable long term, but it is a good excuse for me to stay active and I earn a little crypto on the side, so it's not too bad. Number 7, we have my 2 DIMO data miners. This is an Onocoy device that you connect to your car and you can monetize the data from your car. Both my devices are level 4, and that's because I have had them connected for over a year now. They have a leveling system, so when you get your device, you start off at level 1, you earn lower rewards, but as you keep it connected for consecutive weeks, as an incentive to keep it connected, you earn higher rewards. So level 4 is the highest reward level. We've earned $56 for the month. You see the DIMO token held up pretty nicely this month, up 4%. If we go to my DIMO rewards history, rewards were relatively flat this month, which is nice to see. If we go back in history, you can see we were at the beginning of this project, we were earning huge rewards every month, but as the project has grown, your rewards allocation decreases. I know they did announce this month, they made several announcements. One, they announced a direct integration with Tesla vehicles. So if you own a Tesla, you can download the DIMO app for free in your Tesla, and you'll start earning DIMO rewards, and they're building apps on top of that, so you'll be able to track different data on your car. So I think it's something you should really consider doing if you have a Tesla, because it's free and you earn some crypto with it. They also made an announcement that they have almost 108,000 vehicles connected, with the most common being Teslas at 24,000 Teslas connected. So I think this is a really long-term, great potential project. I think it's really interesting, some of the things they're trying to build on top of DIMO, and it's still a very small project, and I like that it's completely passive. Number 8, we have HiveMapper. I only have one HiveMapper dash cam right now. I gave my extra one to my brother last month. I did have it mounted as a side mount dash cam, but they instituted some rules last month where now if you drive over 45 miles per hour, the side mount dash cam doesn't collect data, so you don't earn rewards. My brother's still waiting on his B, so I gave him my extra dash cam so that he could at least start earning some rewards. So this is my first full month with only one dash cam. You see my rewards. It was quite disappointing this month, only 53 bucks. We go to the rewards history. You can see this is by far the lowest month reward so far. Man, those were some good days back in January, February, and March. Those are a little skewed there because I was actually actively mapping at that point, trying to earn as many rewards as I could, and I had a double dash cam set up at that time. But then starting in April, they instituted some major changes to the rewards where they reduced a lot of rewards for different regions around the globe, and that really had an impact on my region. I did a video on that a couple months ago if you want to learn more about that reward reduction. But so it's disappointing the rewards for HiveMapper have gone down so much over the last several months, but I still think it is is a really interesting project what they're doing in terms of trying to map all the roads around the world. And I think there's some long-term potential with this project, even despite some of the lower rewards we've seen over the last several months. So number 9, we have Get Grass. This is a bandwidth sharing app. I did a video on this several months ago. This one is still in testnet. So the token price I have here is from Whales Market, which is a Solana pre-market where you can buy and sell tokens before they go live. So earned $49 based on that pre-market price. So still pretty good, especially since this is a completely free project. But there are some risks involved with sharing your bandwidth, so it's something to consider. Check out my video on Get Grass if you want to learn more about that. They did make an announcement this month that they are in their last epoch of their beta, so they should be going live here in the next couple months. But I also got some emails this month where I think people are impersonating Grass, trying to get people to click on the email link and put in their wallet. So always be careful whenever you get an email and requesting you connect a wallet, because a lot of times I think they're trying to steal your crypto. So always be vigilant about your crypto and be very wary about connecting your wallet to any unknown website or any email you get. All right, number 10, we have our Fry miners. The Fry token held up pretty well this month, but I know it's down substantially over the last several months, so it's kind of still sitting there at those lows. They did make a major announcement this month. They had a voting, and that was passed, where they're allowing staking and their verification program, which should go live here in the next couple weeks. I can do a video on this possibly if there's enough interest and it's potentially lucrative enough for us to stake and verify our devices. If we go to my devices, I have 6 different devices here. I've done videos on all of these. We didn't see any changes in rewards month over month in terms of our daily earnings. They did institute a rule, I believe it was last month or 2 months ago, whereas every 1,000 additional devices deployed on their network, they're reducing rewards by, I think it was 7% going forward. But I think things have slowed down with Fry over the last several months as the token has not performed very well. All right, number 11, we have my streamer node. I have this staked on the streamer network, netting me $26 for the month. The streamer token held up pretty well for the month, so that's good to see. Number 12, we have my iPolo G1 minis. These mine Grin. I have had these solo mining for I think 1.5 years now. We got a pretty lucky month mining 28 blocks solo mining Grin this month. Now I am actively selling my Grin. It's not something I want to long-term hold. So the expenses here are my estimated home electric expense for these devices. This is one of the last ASIC miners I have running, and it's actually the only ASIC I have running at home at this point. Every other one has become unprofitable, unfortunately. Number 13, we have my pre-search nodes. This one's been quite a disappointing project for us. You can see the pre-search token is down 23% for the month. It's now back to, or it's now at new bear market lows. It keeps hitting lower lows every month. So they do have a monthly airdrop that they've been rewarding every month for 2024. I think as an incentive for people to keep their nodes on. But it's really been quite the disappointment, earning only $17 a month. I did make a decision several months ago where I ended up selling 2/3 of my pre-search tokens. So really to scale back my nodes, just because I don't think having a huge investment in this is a good long-term investment at this point, unfortunately. But I'll continue to support the pre-search project. I think it is interesting what they're doing, a decentralized search engine that's trying to take on Google, but I really don't see them winning that fight long-term, unfortunately. Number 14, we have Crank. I have 4 devices connected on Crank. I have my old Match-X M2 Pros, and I have 2 of my Helium miners mining Crank. Unfortunately, earning only $16 a month. The Crank token really has not performed well this bear market, but I really like some of the things their project is doing. They're partnering with all these different depin projects to potentially be able to mine many different projects on your Crank devices. So we'll continue to watch Crank here. I think there is some long-term potential here, but it is unfortunate that the Crank token just really has not held up very well, basically since I've started covering it. Number 15, we have Map Metrics. This is a special position tracker that you can passively earn with your car. They announced a transition from Solana to Peak several months ago. I personally don't think that's a good long-term decision for them, but we'll see how it works out for Map Metrics. Now, the Map Metrics token is not technically live. They were going to do a relaunch. I don't know when the date of that will be at this point. I checked their Discord, and there's no official announcement at this point, I don't believe. So we'll wait on that. This $10 that we are earning is based on DEX price that I found online. So we'll see what the value of that will be once that goes live. Next, we have my Helium Bobcat 500. This is 5G mining. I've had this up and running for about 1.5 years now, I believe. Earning only $9.81 for the month, so quite disappointing. The earnings have really fallen off on this over the last several months. I think I need to probably find a better location to deploy mine, but unfortunately it's currently located about 300 miles from me. So we'll look at potentially redeploying this in the future, but I don't know that it's going to be worthwhile for me to go travel to go do that. Number 17, we have a Deeper Connect Mini. Nothing really going on here, just $6 for the month. We have Helium Bobcat IoT. I still have 2 miners down, earning less than $1 per miner per month, so that kind of stinks. We have Pi-Fi, earning almost nothing. And then we have the Exa miner. This is decentralized data storage. I don't have very much data being utilized on my device at this point. That's because it was offline for several months earlier this year. So it's only utilizing 40 gigabytes of the 64 terabytes on that device. One announcement I saw on their Discord the other day, they did announce a bonus. So when you originally received your rebates for your device, if you converted those original rebates from the SE Prime token to their SPF token, which I did a video on that about 2 years ago, you're eligible for potentially additional rebates for helping to support that project. I'm hopeful I'll be able to qualify for those rebates, but since my device was offline for several months earlier this year, I don't know that I'll be able to qualify for that, but we'll wait and see on that. And then next we have the Solana Chapter 2 that is not out yet, but I did a pre-order for that several months ago. We received some airdrops already for that, but no new airdrops this month. We have the Solana Saga. I ordered that back in January. I have not received any airdrops this month, unfortunately. And I did pull the current value of all my airdrops. I haven't sold anything yet at this point. We're looking at $1,100 is the current value. This was close to that $2,200 purchase cost that I originally had paid for this device. And yeah, I know I paid up for this. I purchased on the secondary market on eBay, but a lot of these meme coins and stuff have fallen pretty dramatically over the last several months as the markets kind of looked weak. So we'll wait and see what happens with our Solana Saga phone and all these airdrops. Number 23, we have Onocoy. This one's still on testnet. This project's very similar to GeoNet. It's a space weather station where essentially they're trying to deploy these across the globe to make more accurate GPS signals and sell that data. They did make an announcement this month that their RTK went live, so they'll start selling that data. So hopefully they can start to monetize the data they're collecting, and the token can go live, and we can start earning some value from this device that we've had deployed since, I think I deployed this back in November of last year. So it's been almost a year of earning testnet rewards for Onocoy. Number 24, Wingbits. This is flight tracking. This one's still on testnet and still TBD when that will go live. Number 25, we have SwordChain. This one's still on testnet. This is very similar to DIMO. The one good thing about this is I finally got my device up and running this month, earning 92 of their testnet rewards. I believe they were planning on going live with their mainnet sometime in September, but I have not seen official announcement on SwordChain, but I'll probably plan to try to do a update video on SwordChain here in the next couple of weeks. So I think there is some interesting things that's going on with them, and as they approach their mainnet, I think it's a very cheap project to get into, and I think there's some potential here because it's very similar to what DIMO is doing with SwordChain. Number 26, we have the Star Plug. I did a video on this last month. This one's also just earning testnet rewards at this point, earning 448 testnet tokens this month. I believe they're going live with their token, planning sometime in Q4, so be on the lookout for that. And then 27 is a new project. I did a video on this several weeks ago. It's an XNET XP6 Pro. It's data offloading similar to what Helium's doing, where you deploy this device in a business or a major traffic area, and it offloads some of the cell carrier data from people's phone onto Wi-Fi, and you get rewarded in their XNET tokens for all the data that you deploy. So an interesting project, and it's still super tiny. I think it only has like a $5 million market cap. So I think there's some big potential with this one, especially if you can get your device deployed in a good location. And then finally, our last one on the list, it is unprofitable here, and that is my Bitcoin miners. I have 6 of these S19 Pro 110 terahash Bitcoin miners. These hosted with BitCap hosting. I pay an 8 cent per kilowatt hour hosting rate. My expenses were a little bit lower this month because several of my devices were offline for part of the month, so they gave me basically a discount on my hosting expense. If we go to my Bitcoin mining chart, here's my earnings on the pool side by day. You can see early in the month we were earning lower tokens per day, about $4 per day per miner, but you can see it ramped up a little bit this month because I saw some tweets that we were seeing some higher fees on the Bitcoin network near the end of the month, so it helped to increase the profitability. But unfortunately, these devices are still currently unprofitable. I did an analysis once again of what it would take in terms of Bitcoin price for these things to become profitable for me again. We're looking at new all-time highs of $79,000 just for these to break even at this point, and that doesn't account for mining difficulty changes and any of these transaction fee changes. So at this point, I'll keep these online for a couple more months, but if it starts to become wildly unprofitable, unfortunately, I'll probably have to shut down my Bitcoin miners, at least for the time being, until we hit some nice bull market prices. Next, let's take a quick look at the miner graveyard. No new additions to the miner graveyard this month, but you can see this list is littered with basically every mini ASIC miner I've ever bought, every gold shell miner I've bought, and a lot of projects that just haven't worked out. With all these projects, my strategy is to get into a large number of different projects with the full intention that, not all of them are going to work out, but hopefully we see a couple big winners to offset some of these loser projects. So it's always a risk that you get into, and getting into these little crypto projects is not all of them are going to work out. And there's a reason I am essentially staying away from ASIC mining going forward, especially gold shell miners. I don't see the long-term value in putting up, buying one of these gold shell miners and trading electricity for crypto. Next, let's take a quick look at the ROI, or return on investment analysis, sometimes called a break-even analysis for all these different miners. We'll start off with the assumptions I'm making so we can level set. First, miner fair market value estimates are based on recent comparable miner sales I'm seeing on eBay. When I don't have an eBay price, I'll look at the manufacturer price. In almost all these cases, I paid a lot more for these miners than you can currently buy them for today. That's the thing with cryptocurrency miners. The prices generally tend to decrease over time. Next, current month net income is my actual mining results less my expenses. You may have different expenses if you have a different electric rate or different hosting costs. And next is as a point in time, end of August 2024. Miner value and income amounts will obviously vary over time as prices change and difficulty changes. And finally, this is not financial advice. Don't use this as your sole justification for purchasing a miner or a node. Now in column B here, I have a color coding system where I'm essentially giving each project a ranking in terms of how I feel about the project and its long-term value. Green, I think, are the top tier projects. Yellow, I think, have some major concerns. And then red projects are ones I would frankly stay away from at this point. Now, the thing with ROI and return on investment, it's not always the best indicator whether you should buy a miner or a node. Just because something has a super low break even, it can actually make it quite risky, because you got everybody jumping in all at once because you see a low break even of 2 weeks or a month, and it essentially causes difficulty to drastically increase or the price to decrease, and then you end up never breaking even. So don't always just think of ROA break even days as your sole indicator of a good purchase or a bad purchase. Really, the more important things is projects providing long-term value. If they can monetize their project, that's where you can see some great appreciation in the token prices, which can make it very rewarding. And number two, getting in early. Like I've mentioned many times on this channel, getting into projects early is sometimes the most important thing. You can get in before everyone else. A lot of times, those are the people that make the biggest profits. So I don't want to go over all these projects here in detail. We've done that in previous videos, and I don't want to make this video too long. So I'm just going to go through a couple of projects that I think have the best potential if you're considering a miner today. First, First one that is green here that I have is WeatherXM. This one's relatively low price at $380. I know it's kind of expensive, especially when you compare it to if you were just to buy a weather station on Amazon or something, you're probably paying about double the actual cost there. But this one's been quite lucrative for those who've gotten early. And even if you don't earn testnet rewards, I think there's some potential with WeatherXM. And if WeatherXM for some reason didn't work out, there's potential where you could repurpose this device for a different project in the future. That's also something to consider whenever considering a project is there potential where you could use this device and reflash different software on it in the future to utilize it for a different project. That's, I think, one of the big drawbacks of ASIC minings is if a project becomes unprofitable and an ASIC becomes unprofitable, you basically just have a big piece of metal that sits in a drawer somewhere. So that's one of the big advantages as well of these IoT miners. Next, the HyFix GeoNet Space Weather Station. This has been a huge winner for all of us who've gotten into this project early. It is a little pricier than some of the miners on the list here today, coming in at just over $600. But I think there is still some huge potential with HyFix GeoNet, and especially the way that they're monetizing this project. And it is still very early. I think there's only about 8,000 of these devices connected across the globe, and they have a goal of over 100,000 of these devices connected. Another one I think is a huge potential here is DIMO. I think DIMO is building some great things. They've got a really solid team. Yeah, the earnings have decreased as the project has grown, but for those of us who've gotten into DIMO early, 2 years ago, this has paid thousands and thousands of dollars for us for those that have held our DIMO tokens. And then next green one on our list here is HiveMapper. I know HiveMapper has been disappointing for a lot of you who've been waiting on your bees for 6-9 months at this point. They had promised that they were going to start shipping in Q3, but I haven't heard any word of anyone receiving them yet. So we'll have to wait and see them on HiveMapper. The one thing with HiveMapper, I think it is a great use case, and being able to monetize mapping all the roads on the world, I think there is some still long-term potential with HiveMapper. Some of the yellow ones here, Get Grass, it is a free project, but I marked it yellow here just because there is some risk with sharing your bandwidth through a bandwidth sharing app. And then some of these other yellow ones, Map Metrics, that one's kind of risky. Phone Farm is a fun way to get involved in crypto mining at home at a low cost, but you're not going to you're not going to retire off phone farming, unfortunately. And some of these red ones on the bottom, just the ROI is horrible, the profitability is horrible. So at this point, I would stay away from a lot of these ones I have marked in red here. If we go down here to the bottom are our new and testnet projects. XNET, I don't have earnings yet for that, so I don't have a good ROI at this point since I just deployed it a couple weeks ago, but I think there's some good long-term potential with XNET. It's a relatively low cost. If you have a business or public area, you can deploy it. I think there's a good potential with XNET. XMiner I would stay away from. Onocoy, like I mentioned, very similar to GeoNet. I think there's some good potential with Onocoy. Wingbits, I don't know how Wingbits is going to monetize their data, but it is really cheap to get into, so that's why I got into that. I've been in that one, I think last summer is when I got into that. SwordChain's extremely cheap to get into, and if you order your device, I believe before mainnet, you'll be eligible for beta rewards, so it might be something consider jumping into. Starplug, I'm very hesitant about Starplug. Like I mentioned in my video, I don't see the long-term potential of their virtual power plant scheme with these star plugs, and I just don't see it working out for people. But we'll see how that one works out. And then Bitcoin mining, I would stay away from Bitcoin mining at this point. It's a corporate game at this point, and there's really no room anymore for home Bitcoin miners. And even when you're getting these hosted with a hosting service, you've really got to find a quite low rate, and you have to have the newest iterations of the Bitcoin miners to just be profitable. I don't see it being very lucrative long term, but we'll see. So if you want any of these miners, I have discounts for them in the description below, but by no means don't feel pressured to buy anything using my codes, but it does help to support the channel if you choose to buy a miner, so thank you in advance if you do it. One personal note for this month, I did have my baby at the beginning of August, so thank you very much for everyone who gave the congratulations. Mom and baby are doing really good so far. It's been quite the wild month here this last month with a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, and an infant now. I feel like it's just hectic days when the kids outnumber the adults, but we'll get through it, and I will continue to try to get content out for you guys when I see something interesting that I want to share with you. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button on your way out, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.